I guarantee he paid for it. I can't. I guarantee it. Calm down. Calm down, brother. Come to the fight. Come to the fight.
I could have stopped him. It's me. Because I ain't pick it up when I supposed to pick it up. I think I was boxing too much in the beginning. When I felt like he was slow, it was just already late down the line. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning.
Gervonta Davis has definitely found his vocal cords again after some weeks of silence following a subpart performance against Lamont Roach. Well, this is what 3 weeks of training does to you. As he promised, he said he was going to get back to the gym after the fight, giving himself just the first week to relax and recover. Now, he's probably finding his rhythm again, and he's called out Lamont Roach and promised him that things would be very much different this time around. "It's gonna be a death sentence, guy. All this talk has to stop," Gervonta tweeted on X.
As amateurs, was there a little, you're not gonna scare me, you're not gonna, intimidate me. I see the smile on your face. What was going on in the ring? What was being said, man?
He was like, if I hit him with a little jab or whatever the case, oh, that ain't nothing. Or if he hit me, or if I block a shot, I was like, oh, too slow. Or, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like, I'm like, it's okay.
Steve, what was he saying to the referee?
Oh, when I said to Steve?
No, what was he saying? He was
he told something to the ref the whole time, too, yeah.
Oh, so one time, when I hit him on the break. Look, fool. Hey, fool. This me and you, fool. This me and you, fool.
Tank.
This me and you, fool. Don't worry about them. They might get you. They gonna trick you out your spot. They gonna trick you out your spot, fool. Don't worry about them.
And what's that common thing about a Gervonta Davis tweet? Especially if the tweet is an insult or a shot fired at another person. Of course, we know Gervonta Davis deletes such tweets immediately, and that was what he did after claiming his rematch against Lamont Roach would be a death sentence for the Washington, D.C. native. Perhaps what the World Boxing Association means by talk is how Lamont Roach has been actively trolling him on every platform he finds. The Reaper Roach has been more active on X ever since he defeated Gervonta Davis. In fact, he's granted tens of interviews to discuss the outcome of the fight. And one person who isn't happy with this is Gervonta Davis, and things are getting heated and bloody ahead of their rematch. Worse than it was during the first fight.
Don't worry about them.
Come on, stop. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all know how I'm coming. Y'all know how I'm coming. So stop it. Y'all gonna make it hard for him. That's what y'all gonna do. Y'all gonna make it hard for him.
A few days ago, Unbiased Box 2 shared a post on X. It featured an interview of WBA super featherweight champion Lamont Roach Jr. on Nightcap alongside Shannon Sharp and Chad Johnson. During the discussion about the controversial draw with Gervonta Davis, Roach was asked if the referee's failure to call it out in round 9 impacted his strategy for the later rounds. Without a second thought, he responded, "I'ma say no." Why? He explained that Gervonta Davis taking a knee wasn't a setback for him. It was actually a confidence boost. To Roach, it proved that his game plan was working and that Gervonta Davis was struggling.
Gervonta Davis.
Truthfully speaking, it wasn't really hard to focus. I've been an underdog before, obviously not a huge underdog, but when you go back to the Jamel fight, world title fight, I was an underdog. When you go back to the Hector fight, I was an underdog. Very disrespectful underdog, honestly. So now when we get here to the Tank fight, it's just like, all right, here we go again. I feel like when my back is against the wall or against the ropes, it's like, it's time to show up.
The simple fact that he took a knee was really a boost because what we're doing is working, the Washington native revealed. The secret? It's the fact that the two already collided twice back in their amateur days that gave him an edge there. After landing a sharp 3-punch combination, one of which connected cleanly with Gervonta Davis's eye, Lamont Roach Jr. knew he had struck gold. That's why he immediately turned to the referee, shouting, "Keep counting, he's tripping, that's a knockdown." Watching the 30-0 with 28 knockouts drop to a knee, the January 2nd 25 boxer expected referee Steve Willis to follow protocol and begin the mandatory 10 count. Initially, Willis did start counting, but when he reached 3, he inexplicably stopped, failing to rule it as a knockdown.
I thought you were winning rounds. What was your thought on it?
I thought I was winning rounds too.
Yeah.
I wonder if they were giving. This is so like the criteria for boxing. Okay, if a guy is coming forward or if a guy is controlling the ring or whatever the case may be, using ring generalship to box or anything like that? Was he outboxing me? Was he using the ring to set me up with certain shots or anything like that? No. I was pressing the action. He was being cautious.
And here lies the main reason for the match-turning draw. Because if y'all didn't notice, he started to count, and then he stopped. So when he resumed the action, I was like, "What are you doing? Keep counting," the 29-year-old frustratedly stated. To make matters worse, one of the coaches of Gervonta Davis, Calvin Ford, climbed onto the ring mid-round to wipe his fighter's face. Another clear violation of the rules that could have led to Tank's disqualification. Given Willis's reputation as an experienced referee, such lapses were shocking in a championship bout. No wonder Roach and his team are up in arms over what they see as a glaring officiating blunder. However, Roach isn't the only one pushing for a change. Ryan Garcia and Terrence Crawford are on the same page.
Controlled in real estate, we established ourselves in the fight, so I thought we was winning the early rounds based off that. But I said it all along, Tank ain't never been into a ring with a full package fighter like Lamont. And he was gonna have to think a little bit more than he think in the past. And yeah, we was right there. We want to see what his full arsenal is. We told him to bring his tool bag because we was bringing ours. So he had the opportunity to capitalize on some of the things we done, and we had to capitalize on his. But yeah, that was part of it.
You brought a tool bag, you brought a lunch bag, you brought...
But the most unexplainable storyline of all that still demands a bit more attention turned its way is this. What the heck was up with Davis? While it was definitely a shock to see the 30-year-old native of Baltimore struggle against such an overwhelming underdog after dominating the sport for so long, that's not what necessarily was most surprising. Roach looked like the bigger fighter after bulking up to lightweight and relied upon the confidence and experience he drew from growing up in the same boxing circles as Davis to author the most impressive performance of his career.
Say, why not? What you talking about? They like, they ain't gonna give it to you. I was like, oh, is that right? So, you know, that's how boxing works.
Especially when he was trying to find certain shots. It's like we were doing a lot of talking back and forth.
Yeah,
So
about that next, yeah.
it's like I know that he was trying to steal. I know that he was trying to steal because I was establishing the real estate. I was popping my jab. I was making him think. I was making him do a lot of things. And the fact that he knew, well, he figured he had to be cautious after he threw certain punches as well because he was worried about counter shots.
The biggest set of questions surrounded Davis's mindset and the repeatedly bizarre behavior he showed before, during, and after the fight, which has begged the question as to whether this was simply an off night for one of the sport's pound-for-pound best, or has Davis lost the competitive fire and killer mindset that made him such a wildly popular draw at the box office. Star boxers being late for media events is far from a new thing, especially for Davis, who was nearly 2 hours late for the 2023 kickoff press conference against Ryan Garcia. In December, however, Davis took tardiness to a whole new level when he unapologetically arrived nearly 5 hours after the start of his first event with Roach in New York, and followed it up by being 90 minutes late to last Friday's weigh-in. Davis was largely playful and loose during fight week, which is his norm, but his behavior during the fight turned alarming when he twice took his eyes off of Roach to argue with Willis during the first half, only to eat clean punches in return.
It's sad to say, you know, that's how boxing works. I'm not, like, totally upset. I figured with a superstar, you won't get too much on paper.
Prime video cameras also caught Davis yelling over the advice of trainer Calvin Ford in the corner at times between rounds by screaming, "Listen to me!" And then there was the uncalled knockdown in round 9. After Roach connected on a series of jabs, Davis started to aggressively blink his left eye before turning his back to the action and taking a knee. Davis instantly rose up and ran to his corner where Ford used a towel to wipe his eyes, which could have been grounds for disqualification under the rules. Willis briefly began counting the mandatory 8 count, but stopped at 3 and warned Davis before letting the action continue.
I think so for sure. And like it goes to when we were talking about pre-fight. He never been in the ring with a guy like me, with my demeanor, with my skill set, with my ability to punch with a guy. I don't even know if he's, because I know he's been in there with punchers that technically punch harder than me, or from what we saw.
He don't leave him alone. He
Exactly.
never been in with a guy who he hits and he leaves him alone. And he doesn't leave him alone.
Yeah.
Say, why not? What you talking about? They like, they ain't gonna give it to you. I was like, oh, is that right?
So, you know, that's how boxing works.
Not only was Davis's explanation of what happened during the post-fight interview peculiar, his demeanor was noticeably less than serious, considering he came so close to losing his title and unbeaten record as the crowd booed him after, which screamed of either embarrassment or disinterest. I just got my hair done 2 days ago and she put grease in my hair so the hair was like coming into my face when I was sweating and it burnt my eyes, Davis said. Damn, why are you all booing like I'm saying nonsense? These are real facts, come on, man. Look at my hair, I just got my hair done. But it's all cool, man, you know how they get. They love you and then they hate you. Turn around and they will love you again.
Oh shit, it go. But as soon as I heard that 114, I was just like, damn, all right, it's over with. So, yeah, man, it's just crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It's okay. We gonna run it back. It's okay.
Davis, who owns a mandatory rematch clause in his contract and shared his interest in One Monday on social media, appeared a bit more humble while explaining his performance at the post-fight press conference, which only exposed a lack of situational awareness regarding the rules. Nobody likes a draw from a guy who gets knockouts and things like that, but it's cool, Davis said. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more and I should have done more. I was lost and lost track of the rounds. That's why we need ring girls. I didn't know what round it was. Facts.
Did you get your hair done 2 days before the fight?
Yeah. I ran water over it today, but I must ain't do it enough.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on?
I didn't want to get caught while my eyes were burning. You can get knocked out like that, so I would rather take the knee. But I didn't really know that you could get disqualified for receiving mid-round corner assistance. When Willis started counting, I was like, what the hell? But it's cool. During a chat with Colin McGuigan on IFL TV, the Golden Boy pointed to referee Steve Willis, who in the 9th round led an infringement by Gervonta Pass, who after receiving a blow from Roach around the eye, turned around and went down on one knee in an action that should have been penalized as a knockdown, which should have cost him a point, and with it, the judges should have given the round to Roach.
Who won Tank and Lamont?
This is my opinion.
Sure.
It was a great fight. It was a close fight. Depending on what they do with that decision of taking the knee, depending if the commission reverses the decision, or I think a draw was meant to be. So I like the draw.
Do you like it?
When I hit him on the break, he was like, get out of there. He said, stop holding. As soon as he said stop holding, I punched him. So he's like, how you gonna tell me to stop holding and let him punch me or something like that? Steve said, fight out of the clinch. That's what we were gonna do. He came in the back and was like, I'm gonna let you fight out, especially if one arm is loose or whatever the case may be, as long as you're not holding and hitting. So when he did say, he said, get out of there, he got out of there without his hand up.
You know who the commission or the referee is. In fact, I was surprised that the referee allowed that to happen, because that referee is a professional referee and has experience, said the 52-year-old former boxer. Steve Willis has worked some fights for Golden Boy Promotion, so De La Hoya recognized his surprise at his performance, but what shocked him was the performance of Lamont Roach, who he said put Gervonta Davis in trouble, whom he described as a fantastic fighter. I just feel that Roach did extremely well against Gervonta Davis. I think Lamont Roach was on his game and it was a great fight, said Oscar De La Hoya.
If you take a knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking a point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking a point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little,
Renowned boxing coach Teddy Atlas gave his input on what he thought went wrong.
I'm sorry. I'm terrible. I am, but I'm ashamed of myself. I am so cynical. But this sport has made me cynical. I'm sorry. I don't see anyone's going to make...
He suggested the ref wasn't good enough and could have been bribed, since he would never have done the same for Roach. Bad refs! We need better refs, more educated refs, trained refs, whatever you want to call them. I'm not going to say honest, because I don't know if honesty was the issue. I don't know, but we definitely need better refs who know how to make a decision, know they're making the right call, and are bold enough to do it. I don't think that ref would have let Roach get away with what he let Tank Davis get away with. Why? Tank's a star.
Is going to reprimand this referee. I don't. What are they going to do? I mean, it happens too often. It's happened too often. I don't know. We need a national commission. That's the only thing I could think of, but we're not getting one right now.
He continued, I think he set a record for the most fans ever at Barclays Center. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I believe they hit a new attendance record, maybe a gate record too. They've had concerts, fights, and basketball games there. They did big numbers. He's a star. He brings people, has a big fan base, and delivers solid pay-per-view numbers. I don't know the numbers for this one, but he's one of those guys who consistently brings in good pay-per-view figures. All of that comes with him.
One right now, but the last thing I want to say to put a bow on this one, Bud, we talked about the controversial part, but I want to finish with
when a referee allows him to take a knee, which isn't a rule in boxing, and get away with it, not making it a 10-8 round when it should have been, that's a problem. He got hit with a jab just before that. I'm not trying to go after Tank Davis. People already say I defend him too much or hype him up, and he is great. He's a tremendous, complete fighter, a puncher, inside and outside, patient, defensively responsible with fast hands. He puts punches together, goes to the body, can counterpunch, set traps, all of that. But he was wrong here. He got away with it because the sport let him. There's nothing wrong with the fighters. It's the administrators of this sport that have a lot wrong with them. We see it and we shouldn't keep seeing it. It's gotta stop.
With the great part. That was high-level boxing. That was two guys at the highest level showing their skills.
Teddy Atlas also added, a referee can't let something not in the rule book slide. Tank gets hit with a jab, and a second or two later, he takes a knee. Guess what? I'm sorry, that's a knockdown. If your knee goes down around that time, it's a knockdown. This isn't football. There are no fair catches here. You know what I mean? As you pointed out last night, if it were football, it'd be a touchback. Taking a knee in certain situations. There are rules for a reason. Even Terrence Crawford, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters, top 3 with him, Inoue, and Usyk, came out and said, I didn't know that was a rule. I guess I was sleeping when they passed that one. I'll add, he didn't say this, but maybe he was out doing road work or something. He must have been busy when that rule, which isn't a rule, came up. I said it earlier, this isn't the Indianapolis 500. You can't go into pit row because your oil needs changing, your tires need swapping, or grease needs wiping from your eye. There's no pit row in boxing. Tank went down on a knee, and Roach, give him credit, or maybe say he should have gone after him because the saying is, defend yourself at all times, right? He would have been within his rights to attack.
Make a guy miss and you counter, and then all of a sudden you're in front of him. Boop! You're the invisible man. You're on the. That's sweet science too. Yes, and it's easier to see. It grabs your attention. Oh wow! Look at that guy. He's on the outside.
I've seen fighters hit guys who are turning or walking away. The referee doesn't stop it unless the bell rings or he interjects. You have the right to hit that guy that's fighting. Roach had the right. He was a gentleman, a sportsman. I give him credit, but when Tank turned, Roach could have hit him with a left hook or whatever. He's a southpaw, so maybe a straight left whatever it was his right to pursue and throw. Maybe he could have caught him and knocked him down while he was turning. It wouldn't have been the nicest thing to see, but he wouldn't have been wrong. Who was wrong? Tank and the referee who allowed him to take a knee, go to his corner, get whatever was obstructing his vision wiped away, and then go back to work. If the referee scores that a 10-8 round, which it technically should have been, even though I know he wasn't hurt, Roach doesn't get a draw. He wins the title. A lot of people with a plus 900 ticket are feeling pretty good right now.
In the middle of the furnace, with all the flames and everything going, and you don't get burnt up, you don't get torched, you don't get scorched. That is high level.
He concluded his sentiment by saying, he bullied the bully, really he did. It's like in the schoolyard. You see the bully having his way all the time, then one day a guy stands up to him. Suddenly, the bully's not acting the same, not as aggressive. My cousin had a saying that fits here. When you depend a little on intimidation, but then the guy you're trying to intimidate doesn't get intimidated and becomes the intimidator that flips it. You're not going to hear that from many people.
If that was kind of a knockdown, I would win the majority decision. Honestly, I thought I should have won without that, but the rules do state if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic 8 count.
Roach, a former amateur rival of Davis, deserved to be the leading story after handing Tank, a minus 1,600 betting favorite, the first blemish of his professional career in their controversial majority draw inside Barclays Center, as did the New York State Athletic Commission, which was less than transparent in the immediate aftermath and claimed Monday a technical issue prevented it from reviewing the instant replay footage during the allotted time.
Why not? What you talking about? They like, they ain't gonna give it to you. I was like, oh, is that right? So, you know, that's how boxing works.
And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.